Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Holy motherfucking shit. No, I wasn't muted, Wink. I wasn't talking yet. I was trying to get shit done. I am running way the fuck behind. No, this is my first time streaming. I've never done this before. What's up, party people of the MOB, members only baseball, the mob? What's going on? What's happening? What's cracking? Good to see everybody in the chat. I have had the busiest day I think I've ever had since retirement. It is and that's what, 6 years ago now? It's fucking ridiculous. I have not had a minute, let alone 30 seconds to myself all day today. It has been nonstop chaos. But we're here now, so what's up, party people? What's going on? Do I want that? Oh, no, I want this. Look at me. Hey, Wink, you want to just come back and start producing my show again? Oh, fuck. Here we go. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I see something about belly buttons and eating. I don't even know if I want to scroll back to see that weird shit. But anyway, welcome to the second ever in the history of the world show of Mondays in the Mob. We're going to be short a couple of people tonight. Soto's in the middle of thunderstorms in Savannah, Georgia. And Ray had a little back injury or something at work, so he's laid up on meds right now and just chilling. So I told those guys to take the night off. I do have Special K with me. Keith, how you doing, buddy? What's up? What's going on with you tonight?
I don't know. I mean, it's been just kind of a chill day, although I am sore from this weekend.
What'd you do this weekend? Oh, you were golfing, right?
Yeah, I was playing in the Kansas City Amateur Championship, and days 1 and 2 got rained out, so I had to play 2 rounds of golf yesterday in 93-degree weather with a heat index of 104. Oh. That was
so no
awful.
Big deal. Okay, so the most important question inquiring minds want to know, how'd you do?
It was good. Well, for me at least, because my swing's god awful right now. But I shot, 82, 78, and on round 2, I had this crazy heater where I had 5 birdies and 7 holes.
Ooh, that's money.
Yeah, that is insane. That has never happened with me before, and what's my best on 18 holes? 68 before, and I've never had 5 birdies and 7 holes.
That's amazing. So this tournament, what does it do for you? Do you move on to something else, or was it a one-time shot?
No, it was just a one-time thing. But yeah. I played in it the last few years, so
that's
it's one of those courses that it's like impossible to get a tee time on.
Right.
So it's like the only time I ever get to play it, and it's my favorite in the metro area. So I always like to play it, I'm never doing 2 rounds in one day again. That was fucking terrible.
I get it. Gunny in the chat says he played 18 yesterday and it was damn hot. Winkler, however, had a much more important comment and said, I hope you checked your P chart to make sure you stay hydrated. Did you stay hydrated?
I tried my best. I had a pretty good headache by the end of the day, but for the first... 9.5 hours out on the course, I was okay.
Dehydrated headaches are no fucking joke. They often lead to migraines, actually. Yeah.
Yep, they're fucking terrible.
They are terrible. Well, thanks for being here. I think Yogi will be here in a little bit. Like I mentioned, in case you jumped in late, Soto's dealing with thunderstorms in Savannah, Georgia, and Ray is on the mend right now after tweaking his back at work. So let me check the chat real quick. Crazy Canuck is in the house along with Freddie, David Leathers, Nate Hall, Bob Funk. I'm only here so I don't get fined. Well, I just fined you for saying that. Nate Hall, Jeff Banfield, Crazy Canuck. Chad says, Mob, what's up? Thank you, Dave, for the heart attack as I'm driving and that music scared the shit out of me. Oh, you know why? Because I had to start it late, Chad, because I hit the timer and then Keith and I were shooting the shit. And the fucking timer went past the time to start, so I had to stop it, start the timer over. And so you probably thought there wasn't going to be any music, and then I scared the shit out of you. So you're welcome. Bullet, what's up? Good to see Bullet. Gunny, Wink is in the house, counting down the seconds, which I totally fucked up anyway. Whatever, man. Listen, we'll get it down. It's not a big deal. Actually, I think it did better last week. Doug Britton is here talking about his average is dropping by the second on Wink's countdown. Hey-o. Do we have a hey-o? Hold on, let's just do this. There we go.
Ray probably does.
Somehow I've heard this song at Pink Lisa's family reunion. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's super Italian, for sure. I am not muted, bros. And let me see. How do you think streaming works? I already saw that. Freddie says, what's the over-under for tonight? Oh, did I see it? Did I see a thing? Did somebody already start an over-under on whether I was going to go? See, you guys fucked up because you all took the fucking over, you motherfuckers. But you didn't know.
I mean, I'm here, so who knows?
But what they didn't know is we're short 2 panelists, so they can, you know what?
That's true.
Yeah, you guys can suck it. Bet against me and see what happens. Wink was talking about how eating belly buttons or some weird shit, and then Leathers is in here. And I don't even know where I left off at this point. You guys are all over the fucking place in this chat. It's unbelievable. If I missed you, shout out. Just let me know. Ping me and I'll fucking shout you out. I do want to make a special announcement, though. Keith, do you love special announcements?
Yeah, when they're good.
I love them, too. This is a great one. Watch this. Hold on. I got to make sure I don't fuck it up, though, so give me a second. Hold on. I got to make sure I don't fuck it up. Actually, I'm going to find the drum roll on this fucking thing real quick, too. Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in members-only baseball history, the long, storied history of this league, and I might even venture to say, and I might be corrected later when I ask, it might be the first time even in AACL history, because I don't think it ever happened in AACL history. So you take all the years of Mob, you take all the years of AACL, probably even all the years of SSF, and this has never happened since way, way, way back in the Access Live days. But guess what we have today? Here we go. Bullet Boletsky's back with Bullet Points. What's up, Bullet? How you doing? Welcome back to the show. It has not been a minute. It has been several minutes. What's going on, bro? How you doing tonight, man?
Glad to be back.
I think you broke up. All I heard was the word back.
Really? Fuck. My fucking headphones are.
I thought you were pulling like a boy band thing on me or something. Oh, look at I can't hear you, bro.
Second. Hold on.
Oh, there we go. I heard hold on. Hold on to your love. Is that an En Vogue song? Anybody remember that? He said he heard his back carrying your show. Hey, Wink,
saw that.
Suck it. Are you talking about Ray? Ray couldn't carry his mama. Anyway.
How about now?
Oh, there you go, Bullet. Welcome back, Bullet Boletsky. How you been, bro? It's been several minutes.
What's going on? Glad to be back. Your favorite Yankee Met guy.
My favorite Yankee Met guy. I guess, dude, how hard does that hurt to actually say the whole Yankee thing?
You know what? I thought it might, but it really doesn't, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't because, as a diehard Mets fan, the arch nemesis in my youth for the Mets were the Cubs and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So, and then the Orioles are like a minor league team. So then, what's left but to be a Yankee? You know what I mean?
Wait. What? What did you just say?
Minor league team.
I'm on the Orioles.
For 100 years.
I'm on the Orioles, man. Hey, dude, the Orioles literally just went to the World Series in 1979.
I know. That was an amazing year. It's an amazing year.
That was a great World Series, too, against Pittsburgh, by the way.
It was. I remember watching that literally on TV during the day.
Yeah.
When they used to play games during the day.
Yeah, remember
World
that?
Series games? Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And just for the record, I was rooting for the Pirates because I had one of those really cool fucking baseball hats with the stripes around the top.
Yeah, the square ones. Yeah. They had those square hats. Yeah. Those were awesome.
Oh, they were fucking awesome. Dude, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, the whole night. Kenta Colby.
Yeah, it was a great team. That was a great team.
Fucking amazing. Yeah. Fucking amazing. But anyway, Mob Bullet Points by Boletsky. So I had to change it up a little bit. I was gonna do like by Boletsky the something. You know how Mob's guys they got it's Boletsky the whatever. I don't know, the fish.
Right.
I couldn't think of anything good. So now you're just fucking Boletsky, bro.
There you go.
That's it. But
yeah.
I was just gonna let the crowd know. So for those of you who don't know what bullet points are by Boletsky, is back in the day in Access Live days, he would come on, and we had such shit shows back then, and these are shows that would go 2 to 3 hours, and it was just ridiculous. And he would come on, and we would start the next show off each time with him giving anywhere between 3 and 5 bullet points of just what a shit show it was. And he would come on and he would read them, and and it became a whole thing. It became a kind of a big thing, a really big part of the show. So
it's like a recap. It's like a funny recap of the previous show.
Exactly. So I reached out to Bullet last week or the week before, whatever it was. I was like, hey, what do you think about doing bullet points for the mob? He's like, boom, I'm in. And here we are. Boom. Just when he thought he was out, I pulled him back in.
That's right. And I had to take the train through an active shooter situation tonight. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news.
I have not been watching the news. Where is this where are you at again? Manhattan.
Midtown Manhattan. Some dude walked into an office building literally on a block that I used to work on about 5-6 years ago, Midtown Manhattan, about 53rd and Lex. And he walked in with a fucking massive machine gun. Off-duty cop in the lobby, traded fire. Cop got shot and killed. The guy went up to some floor and killed a few more people. Then he killed himself. It's all over the news.
Holy fuck, bro! I did so. Not to take away from that, we'll circle back to that in like 30 seconds. Yeah. But I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show, my day has been from hell, dude. I haven't even had the TV on. I was supposed to have concrete work done in the middle of October. The guy calls me last night and says, "Hey, I have a cancellation this week. Do you want to do it tomorrow morning?" I'm like, sure, bro. So he brings his whole crew over. They're doing all their shit. You know, he's got to keep calling me out to make sure that everything's right, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, I'm trying to get the show ready for tonight. I'm doing fucking progressions for Mob. I got a bunch of AACL crap going on. I've got 2 or 3 phone calls I'm taking. Lisa wants to go out to dinner, all this shit. So by the time we got home, it was 7 o'clock. Or 8. It was, it was just before 8 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit here on the couch and do nothing for an hour before I come upstairs. So all of that, I bring all that up, Bullet, to say that I have not turned the TV on one time today.
You're better off. It's all nonsense on TV anyways, right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, I am glad that you are safe. I'm sorry to hear that. I will definitely catch up with the news once we're off this show. And Jeff Benfield is blaming my wife. Wait, Jeff, when did I say that? Oh, because she wanted to go to dinner.
Right.
Well, we were supposed to go. So for those of you who don't remember, a couple months ago, I bought a Mazda MX-5. And we joined this club in Knoxville. Dude, it has 110 Miatas in this club in Knoxville. It's huge. And they had their monthly meeting tonight, and we were supposed to be there. But the concrete people were here too long, and so we couldn't make it. So then Lisa wanted to go out to dinner because we were supposed to be out to dinner with them. And the concrete people fucked it up. So everybody go home. The concrete people fucked it up for everybody.
Are they covering up those shells that you took a year to build?
Oh, no, fuck. Dude, are you kidding me? I moved offices and took that fucking coffee rack with me to my new office. I'm in this tiny little hole. So Lisa and I used to share this big-ass room. The biggest bedroom in our house we used to share as an office. And then we had this tiny little room that we used for, like, storage. We put all the storage stuff in a real storage. I got kicked to the little storage room, and Lisa has that big-ass office now all to herself. I don't know. Nice. I'm not saying I got fucked in this deal, but I think I got fucked in this deal.
It always seems to work that way, Dave. I have a nice little extra room office also, but I am sitting on my couch in a little corner because that room's been commandeered by my wife and my son. So,
dude, what happened to us, bro?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Hey, Nate Hall says anyone who bet the over may actually be okay because of story time and bullet. Oh, yeah. Story time with Dave and bullet points with Beletsky. Dude, listen, we're only 20 minutes in. We'll start the show soon. All right, Bullet. Let's give the people who don't know a little taste of what bullet points is, and for those who used to experience it back in the Access Live days, let's give them a little refresher here. So, going back to the week 1 show of Mondays in the Mob, Bullet found 4 bullet points that he wants to talk about basically how fucked up we are each week. But Bullet, let's start the old chaos like we used to with bullet point number 1.
All right, bullet point number 1. And again, for those who don't know, these are just little recaps of the previous show, observations/recaps. Okay, bullet point number 1. Dave thinks Stevie Wonder is faking it.
Dude,
that's bullet point number 1. That's the shortest one you'll ever get.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, first of all, I don't think I fucking saw the video. For those of you who weren't listening the other day, I saw the video where he's on stage. There's a bunch of people on stage. Somebody walks by, bumps the big old microphone stand. The fucking thing falls in front of Stevie Wonder. He reaches out and catches the fucking microphone stand. Bullet, motherfucker's not blind. Mm-mm. It's a gimmick to sell more records.
Could be. He could have been like a John Wick disciple, though, too. You know what I mean? You don't know, though. You just don't know.
I don't know. You know what, Keith? Let me get your input on this because I think the motherfucker's faking.
Two words. Y'all crazy.
Bro, that's technically 3 words because y'all's a conjunction, but whatever.
Whatever.
Conjunction? Dave, whatever. That is too big of a word to be using on the front.
You all crazy. All right, hey, I want to know in the chat. I see Banfield, I see Churchill, I see Funk, I see Nate, I see Leathers, I see all you guys. Is Stevie Wonder really blind, or is that motherfucker faking it to sell records? You know what?
If you're blind since birth and you're 70-something years old like he is, you kind of figure out how to live life at that.
You know what? Fuck Stevie Wonder.
Jeez. Damn.
Look at the chat agrees with me. Big faker, faking it. I agree. No. Thank you, everybody. No. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Benji.
No.
Oh, Benji, get out of here. Benji, good to see you. I didn't throw you a shout out because you weren't here yet. But all right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. From the show last week, bullet point number 2 of Bullet Points with Boletsky.
All right, number 2. Dave praised the Cubs for being first with their final rosters and Week 1 earnings submissions. The league had a better take in the chat and said that the Cubs are just a bunch of friggin' nerds.
They did. Dude, okay. Keith, let me ask you, is that jealousy? Is that just jealousy, bro? Come on.
I mean, that's a bold move calling people 3 miles from O Block nerds, but, you know.
I mean, well, at least they're not White Sox fans. They're not like from the South Side or some shit, right?
Right, exactly.
Bullet, what's your take on this? I mean, you put these together, and you go back, you listen to the shows, and you hear that. Did it sound like people were just like, fuck the Cubs, but they're just a bunch of little, like, ass kissers kind of thing, right? Is where they were going with that?
Yeah, that's where they're going. But you know what? I don't blame them because, fuck the Cubs. As a Mets fan.
Facts. Preach.
I mean, listen, I expect that from Keith. I did not expect that from Bullet right now. Holy shit.
Listen, again, diehard Mets fan. Right. Hate the Cubs with the passion of the burning passion of 1,000 suns. Okay?
Wow, there's a lot of. I might need to reconsider what team I bring into this league if I want to be an owner. Holy fuck,
it's too biased in here now.
I'm gonna do a poll. If you see a poll in the next few days that says, "Tell me the MLB teams you hate the least," I'm not trying to think. Don't read too much into it. Just answer the question, I guess.
Look, my favorite. I hate the Braves, the Phillies, and the Cubs, and the Cardinals to a lesser extent. And my favorite teams are the Mets and anyone playing the Yankees. Oh, that's the way it goes for me.
Oh, so you're rooting for the Orioles here in the mob in Week 1?
No, that I can't do because I do have some server loyalty to the Yankees. That's fair.
All right. I just thought I tried to sneak it by you, but I guess it didn't work. All right. Bullet point number 3 from last week's show.
Okay, number 3. When talking about the different archetypes, the consensus was that chicks dig the long ball, but according to Dave, some chicks actually dig the short one on the other side. The ladies of the MOB have not weighed in on this yet.
I have not started a ladies of the MOB club like I did in the AACO yet, thank God. I have a feeling their union would already be all over my shit for that last week. That was just a joke.
It was just a joke. I meant to put out that disclaimer. I figured you'd do it for me, so there you go.
Oh, shit. Gunny wants to know, who's the Mets' top 3 rivalries? I think he just said, didn't you say Cubs, Cardinals or
Well, it's right now currently like the last decade
Oh,
or
it's
2 decades.
Braves.
It's definitely the Braves and
Yeah.
the Phillies
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
When the Mets were in the division, the same division as the Cubs and Cardinals, those were the two biggest rivals in the '80s, up through the '80s.
back when the divisions were crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, think about way back when the National League West was like the Dodgers, Giants, Astros, Braves, and Padres or some shit, right?
Yeah.
The Braves were in the West.
Yeah, it was a little nutty. But currently the Phillies and the Braves are the big rivals of the Mets, particularly the Phillies.
Well, I'm glad
No.
we completely sidestepped and did not talk about bullet point number 3. So let's move on to bullet point number 4.
There you go.
I mean, hey, Annie's pleading the fifth. The Beeb is pleading the fifth in the chat. So
Well, I don't even know if she's talking about the bullet point or some other ridiculous shit we're talking about. Who knows? All right, bullet point number 4 from last week's show.
Okay, number 4. Even though the weekly game schedule was literally plastered on the screen, every single person on the panel incorrectly stated who was playing who. The MOB clearly needs a stronger drug and alcohol policy moving forward.
Okay, first of all,
I didn't say I didn't state it incorrectly.
I think we all did, but let me first of all, I need to
look.
say,
I took a little poetic license. So
I also need to
fair.
say that I may or may not have been drinking last weekend. I don't remember.
Well, that's all the time, Dave. So
Well, it was a Monday night. Well, actually, I drank tonight, so I don't know, bro. Whatever.
yeah.
I was out drinking last Monday, if that counts for anything. So.
Well, right. See, so here's the thing. Yeah, I think I remember that whole thing, and I had to keep going back to the graphic because we kept fucking up. I agree with you, Bullet. I think you're right on this one. I think Keith is full of shit on this one. Actually, I think Keith. I think you fucked up too, bro.
Nah.
Fake
fake news.
Bob Funk in the chat. Apparently I double spaced this improperly on the graphic too, but Bob Funk, of course, in the chat. I'm out if we up the drug and alcohol policy. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, steroids are always still legal. Like we'll never outlaw steroids.
I mean, we're in a baseball league. There used to be some players that it would be written into their contract that it was mandated that they could drink for like one night a week, so that way they could stop drinking like the entire fucking season.
Yeah. We don't have those kind of rules here.
No.
Actually, if I remember correctly, I think usually broadcasters are a little better if they've had a little alcohol on them. That's a rumor I heard.
I came in just to say this. Fuck that last bulletin point.
Hey. Well, I mean, motherfuckers on the panel can't even keep the shit straight, bro.
There was a little
part
confusion.
Of that panel, motherfucker.
I mean,
what'd you say?
You're part of that panel.
That's
all right.
that's
Ray, go away. You're not even supposed to be here. Go take some medicine. Doesn't your fucking back hurt? Because you're fucking hurting mine right now. Let's go.
I thought that was in your head, sir.
Gunny in the chat. Dave, please don't drink Robo's. No, I'll repeat that one more time too. I repeated a couple times. When we went to Robo's funeral in South Carolina, we toasted him with his drink, and his drink is a tall glass, a very tall glass. That is about at least 80% Weiser's whiskey. I think it's a Canadian whiskey. And then like 10% or 20%, whatever, of ginger ale. And we all tried it, and none of us could drink it. It was so fucking disgusting. So we started drinking what we called a reverse Robo, where we put 80% ginger ale in and then just topped it off with a little bit of fucking Weiser's whiskey. That is now called a reverse Robo, and I will be drinking that every year, I'm sure. On his anniversary, so
that sounds yummy, man.
I mean, that way it sounds better, dude. It was fucking gross the other way. None of us, literally, we had like 6-7 people, and none of us could drink it. It was terrible.
Yeah,
it's a rye whiskey, but it's Canadian. Crazy, right? It's Canadian, I think. All right, well, listen, we're 30 minutes in, and we got one thing done. So props to us. And Bullet,
over. You owe me some points. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bullet, one point a week for Bullet if he does bullet points. There you go, buddy. Bullet, welcome back. Welcome back. And I appreciate you doing this. This is always a good time. And hopefully we'll see you back next week.
You got it, Dave. Cheers.
All right, later. All right, folks. That was Mob Bullet Points by Boletsky. he listens to the show and he picks out the most ridiculous shit that we do, which, to be honest with you, is a fucking full-time job within itself because we do a lot of ridiculous shit on all of these shows. So there's that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the mob. Let's talk about week 2. Let's talk about week 3. It looks like it's just going to be me and Keith going back and forth. And we've got a few things to talk about, but first I want to say, if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. Oh, there it is right there. Is Keith, you put together your spreadsheet again this week. And last week, the Ricky Hendersons were absolutely terrible. The average Joes and the McBonzas ruled the roost. How did things change up in week 2 with the batters? And let me also throw in a quick, not a disclaimer, but I guess an asterisk, is I want everybody to remember, pitchers only progress or, cash in their earnings every other week. So what I think we're going to see, Keith, and you can touch on that when you talk about your spreadsheet, is that when the pitchers progress, which like they did last week, we're going to see pitcher-dominated weeks. And then when they're on their off weeks and the positional players and catchers are progressing, I feel like we're going to see an upswing that way. Give me your thoughts on that, and then let's talk about your spreadsheet.
That's pretty much what we saw. Offense was way down this week across the board. I think a good example of that is something I said in, I believe, the live stream chat after the last game of the week last week. But week 1, we had 23 homers hit across the league.
Right.
Last week, we had 9 total.
Yeah.
And there was one team that did not hit a single one last week.
Wait, which team was that, Keith?
That was the Cards.
Bro, I don't know what happened to your bats this past week. Honestly, all the way around.
I don't either.
Yeah. But let me also say this. Last week was the biggest progression we'll ever have. So even if the pitchers next week, once they progress, it's only going to be about a third of what they progressed last week. So maybe after next week, things will average out.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell.
Time will tell. All right, take us through the spreadsheet.
Yeah, so pretty much across the board for the first four stats, which are the calculated stats with the formulas that I got off the MLB website. Stats were down for all archetypes in all 4 of those categories, except for one, which was the Tony Gwynns. The Tony Gwynns made a huge move last week to up their stats. I believe my numbers are, as a group, and there's 7 of them, they hit, their batting average on the week was 288, which was way above number 2. I forget what number 2 is.
Well, you have 276 on the sheet.
So that is the season total.
Oh, sorry. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
I should have led with that. These are all season totals.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
So everything from RBIs to the right is all total counting stats. So your average McBonza has 4 RBIs on the season up to this point.
Gotcha. Now
That's what that means. And then all the league averages are there in bold at the bottom.
Okay.
So the Gwynns in week 1 hit, I think it was 257, and week 2 is 288. And so they are taking the top spot right now overall across the league so far through 2 weeks.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the issue with the Ricky Hendersons? They were in the bottom in week 1. After 2 cumulative weeks, they're still pretty much at the bottom. There's only 3 of us, I think. It's me, Ray, and somebody else. But I actually had a decent week this week. So were the other 2 just that terrible? Did our averages at least come up a little bit? What's the issue with the Ricky Henderson archetype?
I mean, with the Ricky Henderson archetype, from what I remember about the base stats, I don't have those numbers right off the top of my head. They're not great for hitting. I know contact is probably higher, but power is not. And so far, it's kind of seemed like if you have more power, you're going to be a better hitter. I mean, that generally is how it goes. But I mean, it's the same in this league. Those Ricky type archetypes were intended to provide a lot of their value with speed across the bases, stealing bases, and then on defense, being able to make some web gem type plays on defense. And just, I don't think we've seen as many of those kind of plays as we were expecting. I think especially with the stolen bases, I thought we would have seen more stolen bases by now, but we just haven't yet. So, if they're not getting their value at the plate, then seems to me like there just hasn't been as many opportunities for them to get value elsewhere.
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, right? We all know that Ozzy is a defense-heavy archetype out the gate. They have to work on their hitting. Tony Gwynn, more of a contact hitting archetype. They have to work on some other things. With the Ricky, there was some contact, not as high as Gwynn, but higher than Ozzy. But the strength of the Ricky Henderson was the stolen bases, the speed, and the base aggressiveness, right? The base running aggressiveness. What I find interesting though is I found myself in this particular week. Actually, let me back up. After week 1, I put most of my money into hitting because we sucked. I had a better week this week, so I actually upped my defense, which I needed to do anyway, especially since I'm a shortstop, right? What I think is interesting is how these archetypes are differing between positions, because we have seen that some of the archetypes working better for certain positions, giving them higher overall value, and which I think is translating to more performance in the game. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think to some extent there's like X number of attributes that just apply to everyone, and so like for example, I'm not sure if this is exactly the case because I haven't messed around with it, but like if you take a McBonza and put him in left field, then their overall would be X. But if you put him at first base or something like that, then their overall might be different because like they're playing defense in the infield, for example.
Right.
And so then they would need X number of stats. I think to some extent there are some attributes, and this probably goes for a lot of sports games, but I don't 100% know. I would think that there would be X number of attributes that just apply to everyone, and so at that point the overall at your position doesn't necessarily hold as much weight because because at that point there's only so many attributes that are different between all of the different positions, and that are more important.
Well, first of all, let me hit the chat real quick. I see Bullet Bolesky says,
sure, go ahead.
Dave, do you have the breakdown of how many players have each of the archetypes? Apologies if this was mentioned previously. I feel like we might have talked about it last week or on a show, but we should probably jot that down and talk about those next week and get the exact numbers. I know that for sure that we talked about how Ricky Henderson only had 3, and I did see somebody put in there that it's me, Ray, and Ray. Oh, it's right there below that. It was Ray telling us that. I think the McBonza has the most. I think Average Joe only had a few as well, and then Ozzy and Gwynn in between. But we can knock those down. Obviously, catchers only have 4. Pitchers only have 4. Rob Foraker, did that happen today, Rob? Again, if you missed the beginning of the show when Bullet was on, I have not heard any radio. I have not seen any television today. I've been balls to the wall since 9 a.m. this morning. So
that did happen today. It was reported about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I saw that he was on social media over the weekend, and it did not look good. So of course, everybody in the chat talking about. I mean, listen, Ryan Sandberg he's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. Obviously, he means more to Cubs fans than other fans, but I think everybody who loves and enjoys the game of baseball would all say that he was a dynamic player. That sucks. Rip. I mean, Rip Sandberg, as David Leathers just said in there. Fuck cancer, says Banfield. Oh, that's a whole nother show, bro. We could do a whole show on that. We could do a whole week's worth of shows on that. Last thoughts before we move on, Keith. Your overall impressions of mob archetypes through 2 weeks.
I think now this is probably a little closer to what I was expecting as far as how all the hitting stats would break down. Obviously, Gwynn's were more geared towards contact, but they probably have probably have more power than the Rickies and Ozzies. Catchers are typically not great at hitting. Average Joes are kind of around the middle, which they are on a lot of these. And then the McBonzas are up there in slugging and OPS and RBIs, which is kind of what I would expect. So this is a little closer to what I would expect. I'm just curious to see which archetype is going to make the big move and stand out this week.
Yeah, I think McBonza has the early advantage with the 85 power or 80 power, whatever it was. But I see definitely the average Joe's already catching up. And again, it depends on how you build your player. And this is what's great about these leagues. You know, you start on a base archetype, and then everybody builds them different, which is great. So, which is good to see. We're going to move on to some topics here. We've only got a few, and it's just going to be me and Keith, so we'll go back and forth. And then after those, we will get into the all the awards, Player of the Week, Pitcher of the Week, Web Gem of the Week, all that good stuff. But the first topic that Keith and I kind of went back and forth on today was, let me see, find the right fucking thing here. Dude, through only 2 weeks, Lisa Pinky is the best turnaround or best improvement from week 1 to week 2. True or false?
Yes, that's a pretty easy answer there.
I mean, she was the highest ERA, got lit up the most in week 1, and she ended up having, I think, the most strikeouts in week 2, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember all the other stats.
Yes, she did.
But what a turnaround after only 1 week of progression. So my question to you is that a sign of what we talked about a few minutes ago about pitchers progressing every other week? Or was it just her personal progression? Was it just adjustments? Was it playing at home, right? We talked about that. She had to play on the road at Baltimore. She played, at home this week in Yankee Stadium. Seemed to pitch a lot better. Seemed like there might be multiple factors there. What are your thoughts on that?
Like you said, there's a lot of factors that goes into those kind of things. The progression definitely helped. I think probably across the board with pitchers. I think all of them did better than they did in week 1. But with Lisa specifically, I think playing at home definitely helped to some extent. I think the Yankees defense in general played a little bit better, maybe not that much better than week 1. Although you wouldn't necessarily see that on the scoreboard because Orioles were just hitting so many home runs. But, like Gunny says in the chat, all the above.
You mentioned another thought you had when we were DMing yesterday or today about the Yankees and some struggles we're having or whatever. Why don't you share your thoughts on that? Let's kind of dissect that a little bit.
Yeah, so I think what were you alluding to what I was saying about them on offense?
No, how many hits versus how many runs?
Yeah, so something that I found was interesting. So the question I have going into next week is how are the Yankees going to score more runs? Because with the number of hits that they have, which they have 56 hits through 6 games, the second most hits in the league in that span is 42.
Wow,
that is a big difference.
Huge advantage,
right?
Especially
so you would think, and you would think that they would have scored the most runs over that time period, but no, they are 13 runs behind the the Orioles. Jesus Christ, the Orioles. The Orioles have scored 34 runs. Yankees have scored 21 in 6 games.
Wait, so are the Yankees second, or are the other teams in between the Yankees and the Orioles?
Yankees are second.
Okay.
In runs scored.
Okay.
Yeah. But, just my question is, where are the Yankees going to get more runs scored? Because they've hit home runs. I believe they've hit the most home runs of any team in the league through 2 weeks, but so many of them
we have to check that because I think the Orioles might be up there with them, right? Because
I believe from my stats that I have listed down, they are number 1 in home runs hit because they have 13, and the Orioles, I believe, have 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so
basically they're hitting solo home runs, probably with nobody on base.
Yes, and so the question is going to be getting more people on base, keeping them on base, and then taking advantage of that. And the question is, can they do that? Where are the Yankees playing this week? They're playing the Cubs on the road. Is
They
that right?
play. Hold on, I have it right here. I'll show you. They play at Cubs.
Hey, look at that. We got it right.
Fuck you, Bullet.
Yeah. So I'm just so curious to see if they can turn it around on the scoreboard, because they're hitting really well as a team. I think they're first in the league in pretty much all of those 4 calculated stats that I had shown on my spreadsheet earlier.
I would love to know of those
all 4
13 home runs that you mentioned, how many were at that first neutral field where it was like 200 and something down the line?
That's a good question.
Right, and how
it was
many?
Like
and how many?
it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I think.
and how many were at home versus them having to go on the road? So last point on this, and then we'll segue into the next point is it imperative, and should we look at both the road, performance of both Lisa going back on the road and this Yankees offense after they had such a stellar homestand?
That's kind of the interesting dynamic that we're going to see with the Yankees playing on the road is, will Lisa kind of seesaw back to struggling on pitching, and then, do the Yankees struggle on offense more, or do they start turning it around more? I mean, that's
right.
It's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, that's a good segue to the O's. We have a couple points to talk about them as well. We'll start with yours first. You mentioned to me they have the opposite problem with the Yankees, right? They're scoring a lot of runs relative to number of hits, but is this a formula that can sustain them through the rest of the season?
That was a question I had going into week 2, was can they keep up the scoring? Because it was pretty similar in week 1, but I think it was even more pronounced in week 2 in the sense that they scored 11 runs in 3 games.
Right.
Guess how many hits?
They scored 11 runs in 1 game in week 1.
But in week 2,
right,
they scored 11 runs in 3 games on the road. Guess how many hits they had on the week?
Oh, no. So one of those games, didn't they have like 5 runs on 3 hits or some ridiculous stat like that?
That's part of it, yes. So they had 10 hits on the week and scored 11 runs. They had 3 guys go 0 on the week.
Wow.
Yeah, and went 2-1 on the road and scored more runs than they had hits.
So what does that
Crazy.
What does that lead you to? What does that tell you?
Well, so basically that I imagine that means that they are that they've just been very good at capitalizing when they have runners in scoring position, which of course is a critical role in baseball success, is getting people in scoring position and then driving them home. And they're doing a really good job of that right now, especially kind of that meat of the lineup that they have with Benji and Art.
Well, let's not forget. Soto helped them along. Remember, they had that one inning where he walked and hit like 3 or 4 people in a row, and then they got a couple hits. They end up getting like 4 runs on 1 hit that inning or some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely stats, or skews the stats a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's a situation that you're not going to see very often, especially at home.
Well, since we're talking about the Orioles, let's bring the Cards in as well. This is a big week. You've got the Orioles and the Cubs both tied for first place. And hear me out on this, especially you guys in the chat. Orioles at St. Louis in week 3, battle for first place. Then what happens in week 4? It flips, and the Cards have to go to Orioles. So this is almost more like a 6-game series coming up than a 3-game series. Do you think, at the end of it, is it just going to be a wash? Or what do you see transpiring here between the Orioles and St. Louis as they battle for first over the next 2 weeks?
It's a good question.
Wait, hold on. Crazy. What did I say? I said Cardinals, right? Did I not say Cardinals? Orioles and Cardinals. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I thought you said Orioles and Cards. Oh.
I heard Cubs. No, I shortened it. I said Cards, I think is what I said, but no good. All right, go ahead, Keith.
I don't know. It's an interesting question because I think the Cardinals and the Orioles have both showed or I guess I shouldn't say showed. I think they both played the best defense so far, especially the Cardinals, because the Cardinals are the only team that hasn't committed an error so far. They've allowed the fewest runs, although they can thank Gunny for that
Yeah.
a lot. And then you're bringing in the Orioles, who, as we just talked about, is really good at putting runs up on the board. So I think the main key for the Cardinals is they just got to get better on offense. I mean, just full stop. And, of course, the question is, where are they going to get the offense from? Which, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, we're all putting money into offense this week.
Let me ask you this: you got to pick one, and take yourself. Pretend you're not a St. Louis Cardinal for a moment.
Right.
You take Gunny's knuckleball versus the potent offense of the Baltimore Orioles. Who do you take in Week 1 in St. Louis, and who do you take in Week 2 in Baltimore? Is it literally going to be a home and home thing?
My gut says that it'll be just whoever has home field advantage, just because Gunny's pitching style is so geared towards contact that if you're on the road, just when you're on the road, it seems like teams, they can make contact, but they're not necessarily going to hit it out as much. And so when the Cards have to go on the road to the Orioles, we might see more home runs there. Like if Gunny gets rattled a little bit and leaves one high in the zone that someone tees off on or something like that.
Okay, last question for the Cards before we move on to the Cubbies. Where the fuck are they going to get more offense from this week? What's it going to happen? Where are they going to? You mentioned they're last in the league in most of the offensive stats, including runs, like you just mentioned. Where's the offense going to come from?
I think it's got to come from the back half of the lineup, because the last 5 guys, 4 of them are below the Mendoza line, and the last 5 guys in the lineup last week, they went 8 for 51 at the plate, which is not great. So no. I think it's got to come from that side. From that side of the lineup, just to get someone on base for the first little bit of the lineup that's had more success.
Hey,
just so it's not like, oh, can we survive through this part of the lineup before we get to one part of the lineup? That kind of thing.
Or should Gunny and Freddie mix the lineup a little bit? Because here's what I see.
They
the
have
Cubs,
a little bit.
The Cubs were terrible in Week 1. And I think after the first game of Week 2, they mixed the lineup up, and they played way better. So maybe it's a lineup thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they've switched the lineup up a little bit. I don't think anyone has necessarily strayed too far off of
the Cubs by far have made the most changes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Cubs by far have changed it the most. The Cards, I don't think anyone strayed too far off their spots there were Week 1. I'm still in the leadoff spot, for example.
Right.
But I imagine that we're going to see some lineup changes, and who knows, maybe that's what some of these guys need to start putting up better stats.
All right, last question before we go to the Cubs. I know I already said that, but I got to ask you. It's a trivia question. You brought up the Mendoza line. Who is the first person in mob history to get the Golden Sombrero?
It was Rocco McLovin.
Fucking Rocco. Dude, that was so great. I was laughing so hard I gave him a fucking bonus point this week for it. Oh, that's so great.
And it was funny because he still probably had arguably one of the best weeks at the plate for any of the Cardinals players.
Yeah, not that game. Definitely not that game. All right, moving on to the Cubs. This is the last point that we talk about before we get into the weekly awards. When it comes to the Cubs, first of all, let's celebrate their last game in Week 2. Soto got his first win. Cubs got their first win. Now, granted, it was on a neutral field, so when it comes to actual stadiums in the league, they still are over, right? But they, much like the Cardinals, right, they need run support. So, number one, how do they get it? Where do they get it from? And what are your thoughts on that? And do you have any notes or stats to share?
Yeah, I mean, yes, they need more run support. They have yet to score more than 3 runs in a game. They're last in the league in extra base hits. I mean, they've had 8 extra base hits in 6 games. and 4 of those are home runs.
Wow.
That's not great. Soto's pitching is good enough to win these games.
Bro, he might be. I think if you took one of the teams, and I'll let you get back on your point, but if you took one of these teams and said, who has the best pitching with the worst hitting, you got to say the Cubs, right?
Yeah, probably.
I would say Cardinals
Just
second,
because,
maybe, but definitely the Cubs.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals' defense has just played better to get them more wins than the Cubs, because the Cubs have committed the most errors of any team. I think they have 4 at this point.
Dude, I think 3 of them were in one inning against us.
Yeah, right.
I think that was that might have been part of that whole walk and hit by pitch. I think that whole inning just came apart for them.
I want to say Michaela overthrew a ball on a potential double play or something.
Well, somebody
like that.
pulled her off the bag, and then somebody pulled them off the bag at second on a double play. Like, there was all kinds of wacky shit in that game.
Right. But really, I mean, I don't know if there's any particular spot in the lineup that needs to do better. I know someone that struggled week 1 was Corn King, and he did better in week 2. I'm not one to point fingers, so I'm not going to say anyone in particular. They just gotta come up clutch a little more often. You only get so many chances in a ball game, and so when you have those chances, you got to take advantage of them. And just the Cubs are the one team that just hasn't done that so far.
Yeah, David Leathers in the chat says theirs have been very impactful as well, and they have. I mean, let's Soto has 2 games pitched that they should have won, and they lost both those games due to only 1 inning. So the Cubs could very well have 2 more victories under their belt. But the Cubs always seem to have that 1 inning, Keith, where shit just falls apart, right? They just can't put 9 innings together for some reason. It happened at least twice last week for sure, once the week before. I mean, they could easily, especially behind Soto's pitching, be one of the top teams in the league if they didn't fuck up so much.
Granted, the one in week 1 was not Soto's fault, but...
Well, one of them was. Well, I mean, it's actually. I guess my point is, I'm saying that none of them are Soto's fault. Is my point, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's done well enough to win these games. I mean, he's second in ERA by a lot. He's
second in strikeouts.
WHIP.
Yeah,
he's second in strikeouts, but he has the highest strikeouts per 9 rate by over a full strikeout over Chris Lee.
Yeah, I think Rob just gave us our answer in the chat. He said it's Hodge, fucking Hodge.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't think we won't see him starting week 4. He might be back in week 3, but he won't be back in week 4 for sure. Chad's saying Soto is the bright spot in Chicago. That's about it. I don't know about all that. They put it together on that last week. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's about him and Jeff Banfield are probably the 2 real bright spots for the Cubs right now.
Yeah, Banfield for sure. Banfield is. If I had to give you a top 4 or 5, and I'm not going to, but if I had to give you a top 4 or 5 in the MVP race through 2 weeks, Banfield's definitely in the conversation.
I would agree.
And you know what? And we're going to get to awards here in a second, but let me throw something out we missed on the Orioles. What happened to Benji in week 2? He was crushing the ball, and everybody's like, oh, he's the best player. He's so dangerous, MVP. And then week 2, he kind of just got quiet.
Well, it's funny because I think he still led all players in RBIs on the week. But the problem was...
Really?
Yeah. Yes. He had 3 RBIs, and it was from a 3-run homer, and I believe that was his only hit of the week.
So it was like 1 for 11.
Yeah, he's like 1 for 12 with a 3-run homer.
Oh my God.
Something like that.
Hey, hold on. But I think I just lost. Hold on. Did I drop off, you guys? Hold on.
I don't know.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm still good. It said the chat stopped for a second for some reason, but anyway, go ahead and finish that thought, and then we'll go to awards.
But yeah, I mean, generally, I think it was a tough week at the plate for the Orioles as far as batting average is concerned. Obviously, on the scoreboard, that didn't matter as much. So hey, we'll give them some props in the old vision and discipline department at the plate, but I don't know. I mean, it could have been that Benji just likes home a hell of a lot more than he likes playing on the road.
Well, he's gonna have to wait another week because this week Orioles are on the road again, back-to-back weeks. And if I can find the right thing, I'll show you real quick. Yankees at Cubs this week for week 3. Orioles at St. Louis. And if you want to know what week 4 is, just reverse those. Cubs at Yankees, Cards at Orioles. The schedule for the back half, the last 3 weeks, just goes the opposite of what it was the first 3 weeks. So there you go with that. All right, Keith, you ready for some awards, bro?
Yes. Let's get to them.
Let's do Team of the Week first. So who do you think deserved Team of the Week? I think it came down to 2 teams, really, right? You got Baltimore 2-1, the first team to win 2 series. Cubs winning their first game, I thought was a big deal. Oh, and actually, I would say 3 teams. Yankees also won their first series, so I'd say it's a 3-team race. I don't think the Cards should have been in the conversation. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think the Yankees had the more complete performance than the Orioles, so I want to say I voted Yankees this week, but I think it was between Yankees and O's, just because they were the 2 winners, of course.
All right, well, let's find out. I'm going to do my own drum roll since Ray's not around, so here we go. It is the Orioles, 54.3%. Well, let me pull up the... Oh, shit, I don't have it. I thought I had it. Give me like 10 seconds here. Hold on. I was going to try to give you guys the number of votes. By the way, we had 35 votes again. That's for the second week in a row. 35 votes, which is great. It's not 39. It's not 38. It's not 37 or 36, but it's still pretty good. No, fuck, that's the wrong one. Well, maybe I won't have these. I thought I had it. Oh, there we go. I got it now. So, Orioles, 54.3%. Yankees, like you mentioned, second with 40%. The Cubs, I don't know what they got. Dude,
Was that like 5.7%?
Something like that. I'm having, give me a second. Oh, there we go.
Yo, someone get the Jeopardy music.
Well, no, I was trying to pull up the forums, but it got stuck on from other people instead of my own for some reason. So.
Oh, I got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've been there.
So, how this breaks down: 19 votes for the Orioles, 14 for the Yankees, 2 for the Cubs, and like we said, Keith, 0 for the Cardinals. I know you said you kind of felt Yankees, but do you think overall, based on it, or it came down to either Orioles or Yankees?
I mean, that's what made sense to me. Obviously, people are siding with the 2 series wins, which is fine. I mean, you win a series at home and then you win a series on the road. You're a solid squad at that point. I don't have a big problem with that.
All right, so Orioles, congratulations. Be a couple bonus points or whatever. I'll have to go back and look for the team of the week that the owners can dole out. What is fucking Bullet bitching about? I would like to see a manual recount of the votes, Dave. You have to go to Florida to see the hanging chads. Hey, yo. All right. Next award is your player, non-pitcher, so player, position player, which includes catchers, of the week. You probably saw the list. I don't know if you remember everybody, but what are your thoughts on this real quick before I give the winner?
I mean, the one name that definitely stands out is Doug Day, just because he went 7 for 9.
And he went 3 for 3 twice?
He went 3 for 3 on back-to-back nights. That's ridiculous. I know, I think he only had 1 RBI, and I don't think any of those were extra base hits, but especially in a week where everyone was collectively, the league struggled offensively, that's definitely a bright spot. So he's probably the first name that I'm thinking of in that department.
Who should I put Chad in there for the Golden Sombrero for Player of the Week?
I mean, if you want to put him there for irony, you could.
I mean, I could have. I don't think he would have gotten any votes except for himself. But
well, I mean, if you remember, I sent you a list of stat lines from Cardinals players and asked you to pick out the best one, and you picked Chad's. Right from last week, so
yeah, but and then what did I tell you after that? We didn't put any Cardinals on there because they all sucked. Because Cardinals sucked in week 2. So all right, here we go. Player of the week, non-pitcher, positional player / catcher of the week in Mob for week 2 is it is Doug Day by a
Yep, there you go.
landslide, bro. Landslide. 80%, 11% going to Jeff Banfield. Just for math reasons, 80% is 28 votes. Banfield got 4 votes. Art G-Man got 2, and Mike Churchill got 1. So that left Corn King and it looks like Greg Luda out of the running. Was this one pretty much a no-brainer, do you think?
Yeah, to me, I mean, those 4 that got votes, those would be the 4 guys that I thought would be kind of in the running. That does not surprise me at all that Doug Day got it, though.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty easy call. I mean, look at everybody: 2 for 9, 3 for 9, 4 for 10, 4 11.
Right.
Everybody was so bad. That's where we had to go to get enough people. I would say Corn King, ironically, didn't get any votes. I think he's the second best player on the board there. What do you think? Or maybe Banfield. What do you think?
I was gonna say I would go Banfield.
And then
Probably.
Corn King maybe.
I mean,
4 for 12.
I
mean, it's so hard,
shit.
bro. 3
I
RBIs.
mean, yeah, it's
I mean,
tough.
he's got a
I mean,
little leg
would
up
say-
on Luda, I think.
I would say Banfield and then probably Churchill.
Oh
I
my
think.
god, dude, we're all
That's
over.
what- I think
Dude,
that's
all
what-
of these
I think that's
they
what
were
I would
just
go.
they're just too similar, I think is the problem.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was tough to figure it all out. I mean, that's what it looked like when I was compiling all those numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, so
And he only had 1 3 for 3 nights.
look who's here.
Look who's here. I had to work an hour overtime. Sorry.
Yeah, did you tell them that I said no?
Yeah, I tried. They said Dave who?
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't say that.
No,
you didn't say that.
You know, because sometimes people pronounce my name like Access, ACCES. That my name's Access, not Access. So
Maybe
That's
because
all right.
I said, "Yo, we got a bay
That's
right
right.
here."
But
You
at
might
least
be
I'm
swimming
giving-
with some fish tonight.
dude, as a matter of fact, I'm sending Bullet right now. Bullet did his bullet points tonight for the first time.
Oh
At the beginning of the
man,
show. Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch. And
I will.
I'm trying to find a nickname for him, like Bullet the Fish, Bullet the whatever. I think it's just gonna be.
the Hitman.
I think it's just gonna be Boletsky the Bullet. And I'm just gonna send him out.
Cool.
So listen, do you work tomorrow?
Yes,
What time?
same 3:30 to 9. Supposed
Okay,
to be.
you should probably you might want to call ahead of time to make sure that place is still standing before you go in.
Yeah, I will. I don't want to go in until burned out hotel.
I'm just trying to save you the commute, bro. I'm just trying to save you the
Yeah,
commute.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
it. All right,
I'll take it.
so Cardinals got team of the week,
Mm-hmm.
and as you see on here, Bulldog Bullet. There you go, Bullet the Bulldog. And then I'm gonna go get the papers. And then who is the Mob Week 2 non-pitcher player of the
The
week?
Orioles got.
Oh, I'm sorry, Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Orioles got pitcher
Yeah,
player.
'cause I was gonna say Cardinals was
No,
1 and 2, right,
Cardinals
right,
was week
right.
1. Cardinals weren't even in the conversation.
right.
They're the only team who didn't
Right.
get a vote, and they're the only team who didn't have somebody up for player of the week. Cardinals had a rough week.
Wow. They had a rough
it
week.
was-
yeah.
Lisa was
It was
bad.
rough.
Doug Day, though, ran away with this. Yogi, let me get your thoughts on this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Oh, when I looked at it, it was just jumped out at you. I thought for sure he'd get it. I didn't know it'd be 80%, but I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
You know, people are paying attention.
Yep, easy peasy. All right, let's move on, folks.
Yeah.
Pitcher of the week. Keith, your thoughts on pitcher of the week this week? There's only 4 to choose from, so who do you think deserved, and do you remember who you voted for?
I'm gonna put the over under on people that didn't vote for Pink Lisa at 5.
Okay, so
And
we
it's
had
gonna be a lot of
35 votes. So you
homers.
think Lisa got 30 votes?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
well,
interesting.
Yeah.
that might be a little low actually.
Really?
Or a little
Yeah.
high actually, but I mean this
Bullet
this
the
feels
Butcher.
like
I
it
like
should.
that one.
It feels like it should be unanimous, but who knows? There's going to be a couple homers. I
That's
feel.
true. That's true. There's always some homers, especially from the Yankees, by the way, I've noticed in the voting.
She is a Yankee.
Speaking of the Yankees, Yogi, do you agree? Do you think Lisa runs away with this?
I'm hoping so. She had one heck of a week. What a turnaround from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, something. What did I say? 22 strikeouts and 1
22.
earned run in
Yeah.
3 games.
yeah, unbelievable.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, folks, let's see. Your week 2 mob pitcher of the week is. It is Lisa.
Boom.
What? What?
Yeah,
80%,
so 80%. Okay, so listen, that's 28 out of 35. So you were close. But listen to this. Greg Soto got 4. I think because he got his first win, so I can understand that.
Probably.
Right? Here's the thing. Chris Lee got 2. And listen, I love Chris Lee. He's my pitcher. And he had a pretty solid week. But he didn't get his first win, and he didn't dominate like Lisa, so I'm a little confused by that. But what I'm even more confused about is how Gunny, who went 0-2, got a vote. Again, love Gunny to death, but if you go 0-2 and you go 1-2 with your team on the week, you're not pitcher of the week. So
you got to separate. Lack of run production behind him was what cost him. He pitched well. He pitched well enough.
Well,
to win a game
let's
or
look
two.
at the stats in front of us. I mean, he gave up.
Yeah.
Soto only gave up 7 hits all week. Lisa gave up 12. Chris gave 15. Gunny gave up 22. He gave up 6 earned runs. Actually, they all gave up 6 earned runs except for Lisa. He had the second.
Six of those hits for Doug Day.
Yeah, Gunny also had the least amount of strikeouts. And again, I'm not picking on Gunny. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's not his pitching style, of course.
No, I get
So he
it.
throws those. I mean, it doesn't entirely make sense, but then again, I mean,
I'm just.
who knows?
I'm equally as confused by the Chris Lee votes, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah. It's the Gunny love votes. Everybody loves Gunny.
I think if
He
you
gets votes.
I think if you looked at this objectively, it would have been a 2-horse race between Soto getting his first win and Lisa, who dominated. Lisa, obviously, 80%'s nothing to sneeze at for sure.
No, no.
But I think you're right. I think I would have expected probably 30 votes for that one too. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that just
I
because
was looking at that too.
I have to sleep next to her here in a little bit either. So
No,
hey, Bullet says whoever didn't vote for Lisa should have to give back a point. That's actually really funny. All right, so next one is what's the next one? Play of the week. There were a lot of play. I'm leaving the gem
there
for
was
the
a
last.
lot.
Let me see. Let me tell you the play of the week because I'm going to go to gem of the week last. Play of the week came down to Chris Lee beating Banfield in retaliation for the leadoff home run at the previous at bat, which I thought was awesome. Gunny freezes Twin Screw on a knuckleball strikeout, and Twin Screw loses his shit. Banfield hits the first ever ground rule double in mob history. And then the Yankees go back-to-back home runs with Bullitt and Delaney for the first time ever in mob history. So with those being said, Keith, who do you think deserves play of the week?
Well, I love plays where the players get all riled up in all sports. So if I remember correctly, I voted for Soto or whoever it was beaning who was that?
Chris Lee beaning Banfield.
Banfield, yeah.
I thought that was fucking great.
I think that got my vote just because that's hilarious when things like that happen.
It's like you hit a leadoff home run.
Loses their mind.
Yeah. If you hit a leadoff home run, you're getting fucking slammed, bro. Next time.
Right. Exactly.
That's it. Yogi, what do you think?
Yeah, Chris Lee dropping the horse head on Banfield. That was definitely that suits our league perfectly for the play of the week.
Absolutely does. All right, folks. Let's see who received the Week 2 Mob Play of the Week. It was the Yankees back to back.
Look at that.
Wow.
51.4%, which gave him 18 votes. Second place was Banfield with the ground rule double. That was 8 votes. Chris Lee got third with 6 votes. And then Gunny, freezing Twin Screw, fourth place with 3 votes. Are you guys surprised by this?
I can get behind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say not really. Because
Are you surprised that Chris Lee fell to third, or do you think the 2 first evers deserve to be 1 and 2?
I would say I'm a little surprised Chris Lee fell to third, but I am not surprised that going back to back for the first time in this league got number 1, because as hyped up of a play as a retaliation beaning is, going back to back home runs, especially at home, that's also a play to lose your mind over. So I have no problem with it.
I think Banfield, are you talking about the Chris Lee thing, beaning somebody? That's something the mob would do. I agree with that.
Yeah, and That was the first two, wasn't it? The first beating after a home run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Had to. Oh, yeah.
I probably should have given
First-
Chris Lee a
first
bonus point for
chirping.
that, but I didn't think about it.
First chirping after a called strike three. That's the first
Yeah.
time I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
Really
Gunny,
chirping and getting on it.
Gunny said he didn't like the back-to-back reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crazy Kid Duck says, obviously there's not enough sick fuckers in this league that like violence. And it's, unbelievable. All right, here we go. The last award for the week, and then we're going to wrap up the show, is the Web Gem of the Week. And so let me tell you, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 7
lot.
There were so many great web gems that I had to put them all on. But I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
I see 3 on here, and I'm gonna talk about them each before we give it away. Big Daddy Creech, Joe Delaney, and I forget, and Rob, and I think Tommy Gunn. So 4 of the 7 were basically robbing a player of a base hit either down the third baseline or from second base.
Yeah.
Do you guys think those cancel each other out and gives kind of a little more I don't know, room, I guess, for the Cubs 163 double play, Frank the franchise's play, and then whatever the Cardinals did that I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, the relay to home.
What?
The relay to home, yeah, from left field.
Yes, to get Dog Day.
So,
yeah.
so what do you guys? Do you guys think those 2 similar plays are going to cancel each other out?
It's a good possibility because they're all so similar. Infield plays. There's a good possibility they cancel each other out because that relay throw, as a player of the game, that's a gem.
Yeah, it was definitely a gem. Keith, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those situations where, when everything is the same, you just kind of look at the sheet and you're just like, what the heck? Like, I don't necessarily remember these plays because none of them necessarily stand out.
Right.
I mean, the one that I definitely remembered that stood out was the relay to home, partially because, as someone that played in the game, but also, I mean, it was a big play. It kept the game
They
tied
did.
at
I think
0,
it was Doug Day that got thrown out at home too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think the game stayed tied at 0 at that point.
Yeah.
Yep, sure did.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, Yogi, I'll ask you first, but I want to tell you this first. All 7 received votes,
I'm not surprised.
which is crazy. So who do you think?
So we got a rainbow pie then.
We do have a rainbow pie.
Yes.
So Yogi,
Cool.
either tell me who you voted for if you remember, or who do you think should win it?
Did you run out of colors?
Pretty much, bro.
I think I voted for the one to throw home, the relay.
The throw home,
Like
okay.
I said, playing the game, what a play that is.
Right. All right.
Everything has to be perfect to get that play.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the ironic thing is, I think that was Frank in left field, and he's in the other one where he throws the guy out at second on an attempted double.
Yeah.
Too. So Frank's in
Right.
2 of them.
Right.
Keith, all right. Last thought on this before we reveal who it is. Who did you vote for, or who do you think should win?
I think if I remember correctly, I voted for the relay home just because those are always cool plays when they happen, watching someone get gunned down.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's see. Double plays are kind of the norm. Gunny says now. Yeah, but I think that 163, I actually think that might have been the first one. I don't remember 163 before that.
I think so.
And I couldn't find, because I guess we didn't clip it, but I would have put also the first base. It was the 161 double play that I want to say was it the Orioles? I think the Orioles did that.
I think it was the Orioles.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. Web Gem of the Week. This is a new category for this week, and as long as we get enough highlight clips of good offensive and defensive plays, we'll keep these categories separated. So, your Mob Week 2 Web Gem of the Week is it's Rob Foraker. Foraker, 37.1%, which gave him 13 votes. The Cardinals relay to home came second with 5, tied with Tommy Gunplay. I actually voted for the Tommy Gunplay because he went so far out in right field to make that play.
He did.
I just thought that was the most impressive out of all of them. And then also tying with the Cards relay home and Tommy Gunn was Frank's throw throwing out Churchill at second, trying to switch that single to a double.
Yep.
And then Joe Delaney got a couple votes, and then the Cubbies 163 got 1 vote. So 7 different plays, and all of them got votes. I know you guys like the relay home, but Rob wins it. And let's be honest, and you guys can agree or disagree. I'll give you the chance to argue your case. I don't think any of these could have been wrong, to be honest with you. I think they were all phenomenal play. They were all worthy of play of the week, I think.
Yes.
Agree.
So congrats to Rob.
My thing about the relay home was that kept it a 0-0 game in which the Cardinals pulled it out in the eighth inning with 2 runs to win 2-0.
Yeah.
So that was a pivotal play of the week, or they could have been swept just as easily. So that was why I leaned that way.
As a pitcher, we like double play, says Gunny. Of course you do. All right, so Web Gem of the Week goes to Rob Foraker. Play of the Week goes to the Yankees back-to-back Jacks. Your Mob Week 2 Pitcher of the Week overwhelmingly was Lisa Pinky. And also, as overwhelmingly, Doug Day was your Week 2 Player of the Week. And then your Team of the Week going 2-1 in Week 2. And the only team now with 2 series wins is the Baltimore Orioles. That's a wrap. I'm going to ask these guys for some final thoughts, see where their heads are at going into Week 3. Let me pull that schedule up again one more time. Maybe not. Oh, there it is right there. Week 3, Yankees at Cubs, Orioles at Cards. Yogi, I'll give you first shot at this. Yankees on the road at the Cubs. Cubs have a little momentum, but Lisa Pinky is the pitcher of the week. What are your thoughts on that? And then Orioles at Cards, the battle for first place this week.
I know going to Chicago and facing 102 miles per hour after facing Gunny is going to be daunting. What a difference to get yourself set for 102 mile per hour fastball.
Yeah,
we're going to have to be on our game. The Cubs are definitely looking to put some wins on the board, so that's a dangerous game, I think. The Orioles and the Cards is we're going to find out which of those two wants to stay at the top.
Yeah. That's a great point.
It's a good matchup.
Yeah, Keith, I didn't think about that till you said it, but to go from the knuckleball to the 102 mile an hour fastball back-to-back weeks, that's going to be challenging, I think, for the Yankees.
Right.
What are your thoughts on these 2 series in Week 3?
These are 2 series where it's a team with the big power at the plate playing a team that's made a statement at the mound this week. So I think it's two matchups that are pretty similar in a lot of aspects, and so I think this is, at this point in the season, this is probably the most intriguing week of matchups that we're going to have. I'm really interested to see if the Yankees and Orioles can keep it up on offense, and if the Cardinals and Cubs can find some more offense than they've had the first 2 weeks. I think of course, that's the name of the game. Yeah. Score more runs than the opponent. And so it's going to be a fun battle for both teams this week. I'm really looking forward to watching these games.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Here's a great thing, Yogi, and I'll let you have the last word. What's the great thing about this is whatever happens in Week 3 can be avenged in Week 4 because it's back to back.
Right.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Enjoy it because we get to do it all again next week.
That's going to be
flopping home in a way.
That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. David Leather saying, looking forward to getting in the booth in Week 3. Looking forward to having you, bro. Banfield says, I would love to broadcast. Yeah. I'm sure. Hey, come in, be an analyst one game, Jeff. See how you feel, work things out, and if you want to be a play-by-play, let us know. You can always try it out. Speaking of which,
zero pressure.
Speaking of which, so starting tomorrow night, the first game tomorrow night, which is I'm going to leave it as is, I think, on the thing. I think we're going to go Yankees at Cubs first game. That'll be Leathers on the play-by-play with Gunny as the analyst. Game 2, Orioles at Cards will be Nate on play-by-play with Ray as the analyst. Then on Wednesday, Benji and Gunny will have the Yankees-Cubs game. I'm sorry, it'll flip. It'll be the Orioles-Cards game. And then the nightcap with Ray, and we don't have an analyst yet. Banfield, you can grab that and and do a game with Ray. That'll be the Yankees at the Cubs. And yes, of course you can do your hair curve. We actually encourage that here. On Thursday, game 1, it's probably going to be me and Yogi. On Thursday, it'll go back to Yankees at Cubs. And then the week cap game will be Crazy Canuck and Yogi as the Orioles and the Cards. Hopefully, I hope that's a rubber match game. I would love to see the first 2 games be split and then have a rubber match game at the end of it like that, battling for first place. I think that would be great. So, Yogi, Keith, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We had low numbers tonight, but that's normal for a Monday night show. Not a big deal. Crazy Canuck is still with us. Banfield's here. Michaela's in the house, along with Leathers, Gunny, Rob Foraker, Bullet Boletsky, I still see is here. Oh, you know what I didn't see? Was Twin Screw not here tonight? I never got the what's happening.
No lurking?
No, I didn't see the what's happening. Churchill is still here. I see Wink still in the house. Freddie, Britton, Leathers, Benji, Andy Beaverhausen. Oh, there's Twin Screw. I see Twin Screw's name. He's just not talking tonight. You know what Twin Screw does, right? He fucking goes, he sets a computer up to watch it, and then he goes and fucking does something else.
Just leaves it there.
It comes back later. And then he comes back and he's like, what's happening? I don't know if I think Chad bounced already, but right, good seeing everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow night here at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Freddie is in the booth. He's going to sing us home so we can get out of here. So enjoy your night, and I'm going to work on progressions or the earning stuff. You guys are lucky. I let it go late tonight because I was so busy. As soon as we hang up, I'm going to start digging into that. So get ready for if you fucked up, you're going to get a DM from me. So just be prepared. All right, Freddie, welcome back to the show, bro. How you doing tonight? What's going on?
What's up, Dave? Everything good here. Good show tonight. Great job by everybody on there. Special K, Yogi, yourself.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
All right,
that.
Bob.
Freddie, you ready for week 3?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. We got a new lineup change. A lot of lineup change. I mean, hopefully we don't strike out as much. I mean, we had people that didn't even progress last thing. I didn't know all this, you know.
Oh, last week?
So
Yeah, you had 2 people, yeah. I think only one this week, if any, so.
Yeah, I mean, if we have people not progressing, then it's going to put us behind.
Yeah, I'm going to have
But anyways.
I'm going to have to make a rule where you can only save, like, no more than 2 weeks, because you only have 6 weeks in a season. That's like a third of the season. That's
Exactly.
Too much, yeah.
That's a third of the season.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Freddie, sing us home, buddy.
All right, Bob, here we go. Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. We'll call it a night, the party's over. Until tomorrow night, we'll start week 3 up again. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Week 3 kicks off tomorrow night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Yanks at Cubs, followed by Orioles at Cards. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got Leathers and Gunny on game 1, Nate Hall and Ray, or shall I say, fucking Ray, on game 2. That's all I got for now. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all of those who were in the chat. Thanks to Bullet for bringing back bullet points. It's been a minute. Those were fun. They're always fun. So hopefully those will be back next week. Special thanks to Yogi and Special K for being on the show, and for Freddie for singing us home. So that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for joining Mondays in the Mob, and we'll see you tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on this Twitch channel. Good night now!